Hey guys, welcome back. I am here for another ruck. It's been a while, but you know, I decided I'm gonna stop pussyfooting around, start getting back to doing the things I need to do. I've actually been doing it all throughout the month of August. So by the way, Sam is here with me. Say hi, Sam. I've been getting back into doing some of the things that I haven't done in quite a while. You know, all last year I was doing great on my workouts, and then I got derailed by a little bit of damage I did to myself on a certain job that I've talked about before. It has been one tough thing to get back on the horse and do it the way I was doing it before. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have to start off the way I did the first time. When I first decided I'm gonna start exercising, way back in my third month that I was on Lion Diet, I decided I was gonna start doing 10 push-ups in the morning, 10 push-ups in the afternoon, 10 push-ups in the evening. And this time what I did a little different is, because I didn't want to work the same muscle group every day, I decided I'm going to do 10 push-ups, or those 30 push-ups one day, and then the next day I'm going to do 30 squats. And I gotta say, it was good starting off that way, but after a while you get tired of that constant repetition of reminding you 3 times a day to do just a little, and you start to miss the benefit of doing a few at a time, a few more at a time. But it's still a good way to build yourself back up to the habit of doing the exercise you need to do. I would get those alerts, you know, first thing in the morning when I wake up, and I'd have to push myself to get down there and do those first 10. And then sometimes I'd get that noonday one, and I would be somewhere out in the town or doing something, and I would think, what am I going to do, push-ups here in front of everybody? And I decided, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do them right here. Who cares? Nobody's watching me. Nobody knows who I am. They can think I'm crazy if they want. They probably think I'm crazy anyway. I'm sure I do plenty of other things to justify that thought. And then even when I'm at work, dressed in a full suit, I could be on the elevator on my way up to the 5th floor of the hotel I work in, and stop and knock out my Tim while I'm waiting for the elevator ride. But that gets tiring as far as mentally, because you start to think, I could be doing more. I could be getting more done at one time and getting my strength up too. Because, you know, when you're doing exercise, you find the more you do at one time, the better it is for your body. And it's so easy for us to slide back into ways that take us backwards. So all throughout the month of August, I've been building back up to that position. In these past 4 or 5 days, I've been knocking out all 30 first thing in the morning. And the past couple of days, I've been adding a little bit, doing 40 or 50 or 60. And it's starting to really pay those dividends again, because when you get out of the habit, it's real hard to get back into the habit. But once you start to get into it, once you start to get in the regular behavior of, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do to take care of my body, it gets a lot easier. So I decided, all right, it's time to get out and go for a ruck. I've had a lot of you asking me to come back and do a ruck and talk or a walk and talk. For those of you who don't count wearing a 40-pound pack on your body or vest on your body the same as rucking, I don't know what to tell you. I still get the resistance I need, and it definitely gives me an extra workout. I've been going for a little over a mile now, and I'm surprised that I can put on the 40-pound pack after so long and not notice much of a difference. Granted, I have been pushing a cart around on a carpeted floor in a hotel for 3 to 4 miles a day, so that's helped keep me in position for this. But it's still, it's so easy to just let it go. I wanted to get out early and catch the sunrise, but I have let that comfort of being able to lay in bed and not have to be somewhere sometimes keep me from doing the things that I know I need to keep doing. Because I got to remind myself of why I started Lion Diet, why I decided to take my health into such consideration. And it wasn't because I wanted to have a perfect body. It wasn't because I wanted to look good in certain clothes, although those are great benefits now. I was doing it for my family. I knew that if I didn't stop trying to find pleasure and leisure in every aspect, that my body was deteriorating, my mental health was deteriorating. And getting up and doing these things will give you the charge that you need in your life to take command of those things that are important, to be able to manage your responsibilities and take care of those things in your life that take care of your wife, your sons, your daughters, your husband, your family extended. You may notice the scenery keeps changing behind me because I have to keep pausing because there's always some noise going on, whether it's dogs barking or noisy vehicles going by or somebody working with chainsaw or some kind of power tool making all kind of noise. But you know, I'm not going to let it stop getting the message out, because I know so many of you were exactly in the place that I was in, where you just don't want to get up and do it. You just don't want to get up and take the time to put the energy into strengthening your body, because sometimes it feels like it's not going to accomplish much. I'm not going to be able to do very much, so why even try? Well, doing those little bit amounts early on at the beginning are going to be the key to setting that habit formation and getting back in the habit sometimes, like I'm having to do now. It's the same process. I got to start over. Granted, my body's in a little better shape now than it was when I first started, but it still takes that same mental discipline to push through and get up and get started and just do it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be ready for the difficulties that are going to come your way today. And trust me, there will be difficulties. Maybe not today, but tomorrow or the next day. Life is full of tragedy and disappointment. But we can offset that when we take care of ourselves so that we can be there for those we care for. You know, the most important lesson I think I've learned in life is it's not all about me. When you can stop putting your eyes on yourself all the time as being the reason you do everything, then you can stop seeing the difficulties that come your way in life as some kind of affront to your ability to have the life you want to have, and stop making excuses for why you're not doing the things that you would like to do. You know, when I watch Dr. Baker going all over Europe and doing all these great things, you know, that little jealousy bug jumps right up on my shoulder and says, why can't I do that? Why can't I have all those things? And I have to just throw that mentality away. And I'm thankful for what he's doing, because it's people like Dr. Baker that encourage me to press on. When I look and see a man that's 6 years older than me is able to maintain his health so well and to take care of his body the way a man should take care of his body, it encourages me. Now, this message is going to be different for everybody, but whether you're a man or a woman or a child, you've got to discipline yourself. You've got to put yourself into a position of realizing that seeking pleasure and leisure are going to lead to no pleasure and no leisure in your life. You've got to seek out the difficult things. Take on those challenges, and don't be afraid to work your body, to use your mind, to think, to speak, to write, and to be careful with what you say. Just like you're careful when you exercise. You don't want to do too much weight. You don't want to do more than your body's capable of, because then you wind up hurting yourself. And if you're saying things that you shouldn't be saying, or especially if you're saying things you know are not true, you can certainly put yourself in a bad way, because then you can wind up representing and living a lie. And I can't think of anything more enslaving in life than living a lie. And once you start to get past yourself and you're focused on the things that are good for your family, for your friends, for those that you love, for your community, for your country, and for the whole world by and large, because no man is an island unto himself. We all have an effect on each other. And when I'm driving down the road and I see somebody who's overweight but out there walking, getting that exercise, that encourages me, and I'm sure it encourages others to say, you know what, I'm not going to make fun of that person, because really I'm just projecting my own anger on myself onto them, I think I'm going to do that too. And I'm going to applaud that person as I go by. And I'm probably not going to make any gestures directly toward them as I'm driving by, because that might embarrass them. But at the same time, just seeing them applying themselves to being better than they were should encourage me and encourage you to get up and do the things you need to be doing. And once you start to get past yourself, the problems of fighting your own flesh, your own desires to do things that are self-destructive or are not profitable for you, whether it's eating wrong, drinking the wrong things, smoking the wrong things, just putting the wrong things in your body and your mind in general, you still got to deal with the problems of those around you who are not in that way of thinking. And I run into this all the time when people decide they're going to go carnivore and the rest of their family doesn't want to join them. Well, there's no amount of talking I think you can do that's going to encourage them more than setting the example and just not making an excuse, not belittling them for not joining you, not hounding them all the time about doing what you do, even though I make that mistake occasionally, but leading by that example. And then you're able to raise up those around you who you love, and they start to grow from it. I'm seeing it right now with my wife. Someday, hopefully, she'll want to come on here and share her story, because it just keeps getting better and better. But I guarantee you this, if I hadn't been leading by example these past 2 years and 7 months of taking control of my health and taking control of my mental health, taking control of my spiritual life, she wouldn't be at the point she's at now, where she's trying carnivore diet for the first time and giving it a good go so far. In another week, she'll have been doing it for a month. One of the things she's taken on recently is that she's decided to start going to karate. Not going to karate, because she was already at karate with our son. But now that our son has graduated to the teen and adult class, she realizes there's no sense in her just sitting on the side and watching when she could be right there participating. And yesterday she got back and she was doing planks and ropes and jump rope and those big heavy ropes and doing a lot of exercise that she hasn't done in a long time. And I could see that fire that's starting to grow in her. And she's thinking about things that are going to make her have the best year of her life. Could be her 40th year, because she's going to be in the best shape she's ever been in if she keeps on going this way. And I'm going to do everything I can to encourage that and try not to do anything to discourage it, which we can sometimes do with our mouths. So be careful, guys, when you're talking to your family and trying to encourage them. Give them gentle encouragement and let them know when you're proud of what they're doing, because they're already happy to see that they're doing it, and it's even more encouraging when those you love are impressed and amazed at what you're doing now. There's no way I could have seen my younger son, Levi, who was always in such a shell when he was growing, when he was a little boy. And now that he's about to be 13, he's on the verge of getting his first degree black belt in Taekwondo. And recently he was asked to start training the younger kids with karate. And to see him step up and start taking on that role as a leader for other young people at his young age, I just like to think that the encouragement that I as a father have been able to bring to him is what's put him in a position to feel like he can do this. We all need somebody to kind of show us the way sometimes. And you can be that person in your family. You can be the one that leads you and those you love out of the lifestyle that you really don't enjoy and start taking on the day. So today is day one of rucking again for me. I got to get up tomorrow and have the same attitude if I want to keep this going. Just like you're going to have to do the same thing. Take it one day at a time and do what you need to do that day to take care of yourself, so that you can take care of those that you love. So say, screw it, I'm going to get up and do it, and go make it happen today. I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
Oh, by the way, guys, I've got some great stuff in the description of every video, whether it's things that I use all the time for cooking, things I use for exercise, foods that I eat, and of course my Patreon and channel support links are there if you want to help support what I'm doing here. I'd sure appreciate it if you check out the description and see if there's anything there that interests you. But right now I'd like to also thank all of those of you who have been there in the comments, in the subscriptions, in the Patreon, that help support me to keep doing what I'm doing here to help other people get healthy. I appreciate it. Check out these credits for my patrons.